Hi there.
Hi.
Welcome. I'm going to stop sharing and let's begin. Lovely to have you. I'm going to go ahead and start. We are a tiny group, but we're recording this so that other people can make use of it. So really, really happy to have you here, and feel free to jump in with questions. I really want to be able to answer anything that you have on your mind. I'm Randi Hopkins. I run the visual arts program at Boston Center for the Arts. And I'm going to start out this our info session for the 2022 BCA Studio Residency program with a little bit of background information about the program itself. And also with start out just with some context about BCA and including our land acknowledgement and our Black Lives Matter statement. So forgive me for reading this, but it's really important to us and our values. Boston Center for the Arts supports Boston's working artists to create and share new works and connects communities to the arts. We provide resources for artists of all disciplines to explore and create, and we focus on embracing artist process, working towards increased equity and access in Boston arts. To help ground us in equity as we begin today, I'm going to share our land acknowledgement and our Black Lives Matter statement. Boston Center for the Arts recognizes that we work, learn, and create on the ancestral land and unceded territory of the Wampanoag, Nipmuc, and Massachusetts people. We affirm that it's important to understand, recognize, and honor the history of the Indigenous land that we occupy. We recognize that this acknowledgement is not enough and that it in no way undoes the legacies of violence and displacement of Indigenous people. We pledge to hold space and to take small but necessary steps to pave the way to a future of decolonization and reconciliation. BCA also believes Black Lives Matter. It is incumbent upon us to act accordingly and to identify those ways that we, as leaders of a cultural organization, can stop perpetuating pervasive and systemic white supremacist practices and lead through our actions. BCA is committed to doing the hard work of dismantling even the most subtle forms of white supremacy in our organization, in our practices, and in the work we do to help make Boston a place where Black artists can live and thrive. So thank you for that. For a little bit of context on the residency itself, this is a brand new residency program. We launched it last summer of 2021, with a cohort of 17 artists, and we are now about to add approximately 20 more artists to the program, some of whom are part of artists who are already in our artist building over the past years that preceded the residency, and then part that are going to be chosen through the application process that's open now, with deadline of April 18th, end of the day on April 18th. The important things I think about the residency to know are that it's designed to foster and support access, equity, and experimentation in the arts and in new arts being created in Boston. We do have, we lean towards experimental work, and we really lean towards work that is collaborative. We're trying to build a community of artists in the building, and we love people who thrive in a situation where their creative juices are really informed by being around a creative community. It's open to artists working in all disciplines to the extent that our building can accommodate them. So we do have an old building. It's a 4-floor walk-up in an incredible location in the middle of the South End, but it poses its own challenges that we learn to live with, but that's part of the selection process, is making sure that we're bringing in artists whose work we can actually support, like within the building. it is a work only building. There's no living spaces there, but every artist is offered 24/7 access to the building, so you can use it as you want as long as you're not living there. And everybody gets an individual studio, although we work hard to help people pair up if sharing is something that interests people for either for financial reasons or other kinds of reasons. We're open to that. We ask that anyone who you'd want to share a studio with is someone who's applied to the program. So if you have friends who might be good sharing partners, make sure they apply, because that really helps us out a lot. We provide free Wi-Fi and heat and AC in the building. And there is a fee for the studios. We calculate that on a subsidized rate of $20 a square foot a year, which is like 60% off market. And we are working to be able to offer fully paid opportunities for artists, but that's still something that is aspirational at this point, but it is a goal and something we're working towards. So those are the basic things. I mean, there are lots of details about the buildings. I don't know if you guys have actually been in there, but really most important to us is trying to develop a community. We bring in curators for studio visits or other professionals or partners, institutions that people might be interested in meeting individuals from. We work closely with Boston Center for the Arts' Mills Gallery to provide opportunities both for public programming and also for exhibition to the extent that we can. At this point, we're just talking about dedicating project room space to the residency because BCA's exhibition program is still going strong and takes up most of the gallery, but we have a really nice relationship with the gallery. We're able to support artists in the studios who have curatorial practices or other things that might be exhibition oriented as well. And let's see. And we have a new partnership with Boston Art Review, who has just taken studio space in the building and is gonna, in an in-kind arrangement with us, and is gonna provide some support and exchange with the residents over the course of the next couple of years. So that's a really nice relationship. And all the things, residency really is new, and we're developing a lot of these as we go. And so even what the actual details of the relationship with Boston Art Review are going to look like are still, we're working everything out as we go, but it's a fun process. And I don't know, we have everybody on board, a lot of conversation to help us make sure that we're really serving artists the way that they want to be served. So I think that's my overview. There's tons of information, lots of it available on our website too, but they would be super happy to hear questions, specific questions that either of you have come in to have answered. Let me know.
I just wonder, as since it's moving from kind of like it, like maybe long-term artists to be more of a residency, what is the organization's view for like the artists as they move through, what does the organization see the artist as getting out of it being kind of like a, like 1 to 3 year residency?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And I have to, even in evolution from last year to this year, we are just calling it a 3-year residency at this point, that you have up to 3 years. You have an easy escape hatch if it's either not for you or life changes or something. But we decided that the review process actually was pretty cumbersome. I mean, we have criteria that we expect you to live up to, so there's still some accountability, but it's basically a 3-year program because we know people really do need some space, need time in a space, and to develop the relationships and their practice. We've especially when we first started thinking about this was during the era when Boston was going through the, I'm going to blank on what that was called, pre-pandemic, but really trying to assess what artists in the city need. And space was just the number one like thing that was so hard for people to come by. We have 50 studios in that building. We do have some small theater companies in there and a few other things, but we just have this wonderful space. And honestly, we just have artists who have been in there for such a long time, artists who we adore, who we work well with, but we feel like they are just ultimately, we're not serving the community well by letting people come in and then just end up like basically, staying there at a time so that younger artists coming up don't have access to the kind of space. So we tried to come to a number of years that we thought gave somebody long enough to really make use of the space, but that would also like let you know from the outset, you're going to have to make room for other people who need this opportunity going forward. You can reapply after a year. That's one thing. And I mean, we already know from our long history working with artists in the building that having the cohort who knows us and is really has been involved with BCA is so valuable to us. We're really starting to build in a lot of ways that artists who are leaving can stay involved, either advisory board or jurors, or even doing studio visits themselves or portfolio reviews. We really love to keep people involved and try to put the management actually of the program a lot into the hands of the artists once we start to have more of an alumni cohort. But that, I mean, it was a really hard decision. It took a long time coming, and it had very publicly a lot of fits and starts too, so which was really distressing. But I don't know, I think ultimately, like, we felt like it just, our mission is to support working artists and to connect art to community. And it seemed like we weren't actually really fulfilling our mission very well by not having a process for like new artists to be coming in. So I don't know,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, it's, our city just really makes this so challenging. So it's not a perfect situation, but that was what we decided to do.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I am friends with Gohar.
Aww,
and so she's been encouraging me to apply. So I was able to go to like an artist-led gathering a couple of weeks ago and see the building and like meet a lot of the artists, which was a really wonderful experience. So
nice.
Yeah. I can't think of any more questions at the moment.
That's okay. I mean, it's fun. It's always fun to hear that, since I don't even know what kind of a gathering they might have had, and I love it.
Yeah.
Artists are so proactive. Thankfully,
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm torn in a million directions, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think the way that they've really stepped up and are trying to create programming that they want is really, really fun for me. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's a really serious, but also really supportive group of people in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That came across.
oh, I'm
Yeah.
so glad to hear that. That's really lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think even like our criteria for the jury on this is very much like tries to be very holistic, and we try to be really transparent like about what that is. It's all set out in the application and stuff like that. But I don't know, like, I really do actually feel like we did a really nice job of choosing people, again, who aren't just in there to kind of slam their door shut. And lots of people spend lots of time getting hard work done, but there's also doors and social gatherings and support in a very cool way. So
yeah, it was really nice to like there was kind of like impromptu studio visits, and we were all able to kind of like give feedback and appreciate what everyone was working on, and it was very inspiring.
Oh, I love to hear that. Thank you. So we, as a residency, and we've been having a monthly, like, we only could start being even in person together, like around the time that the residency was a couple months old. So it's been kind of a funny year, but we've been for the past couple months really consistently having a monthly, like, I think it's third Wednesdays, like meeting in the gallery where we just have kind of like wine and snacks pre-dinner hour and just have the gallery to ourselves and just like chit chat. And we've never really had like much of an agenda for these meetings, and people just like, they have so much to talk about.
Oh, that's good.
It is always pretty fun.
Yeah.
So I think that is a big important thing that we're trying to serve.
Yeah.
And we have a
Okay.
lot of people who are new to Boston, and it's a place where people who are new to the city get a really nice chance to kind of start meeting artists. If you didn't go to school here or already have your network here, I think artists
Right.
know how hard it is to kind of connect with the community. And so this is really appealing, like last year, to a lot of people who are moving to Boston for different kinds of
Yeah.
reasons. And so that we really love that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that would be really helpful to me to build a community like that. I mean, I'm new, but only we came in 2018, so it was like I had a year and then the pandemic.
It's
So,
so odd, right? We all like kind of
yeah.
stopped in our tracks.
Yeah.
Sounds nice. Well, I also think that as people I mean, I guess more and more people go out in a regular way, but I think at the beginning, as people even just started showing up more in the studios, it was kind of interesting. You could just see like people just eager to be in the same space, and just
Yeah.
all the uncertainty about that.
Yeah.
So that is cool. Well, I appreciate the questions. And I think I'm pretty easy to access if you think of things after we get out, and or
Okay.
so you can easily get. I mean, she knows lots of can answer
Yeah.
probably the questions as well.
Yeah.
But that's
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for the extra details, and I'll be sure to email you if anything else comes up.
That sounds great. And please do apply and encourage friends to apply. I think is a funny time in the year where people just in life that people I think are feeling hesitant about making future
Yeah.
plans in a funny way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope people will feel encouraged to come and join us.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I'll share your thing just in
Thank
case.
you. The word out. Bring your
Okay,
friends.
great. Awesome. Thank you so much, Randy. It's so
Yeah,
nice to like meet
yeah.
you.
You too.
All
Great to talk
right.
to you. Thanks
Bye.
for coming. Bye. Good. And I think that concludes our program for this evening. So thanks everybody who's joining virtually. I hope that gave you a sense of what the program is like, and I hope you'll think about applying. Deadline April 18th at 9 p.m. That's Marathon Monday here, so you might have the day off for a few extra hours. Please feel free to apply, share the call with friends. There's lots of information on the Boston Center for the Arts website where you can see the application, but also see a lot of related information and see some of the other things that BCA does that you'll be involved in. So thank you so much. You also can email me directly. I'm Randi Hopkins. It's Randi, R-A-N-D-I, at bostonarts.org. And I am very happy to answer specific questions or do anything I can to help you understand our new residency program. So thank you. See you soon.